Hello, and welcome to the London Perspective. I'm your host, Stefan. Today, we'll be discussing the recent events taking place in Peru, where police have violently raided a university in Lima and shut down the iconic Machu Picchu site amid growing unrest and calls for the president to step down. According to reports, scores of police stormed into San Marcos University on Saturday, using an armored vehicle to break through the gates, firing tear gas, and detaining over 200 people who had come to the capital to participate in anti-government protests. Images from the scene show dozens of people lying face down on the ground, and students have reported being pushed, kicked, and hit with truncheons as they were forced out of their dormitories. This raid on the oldest university in the Americas is just the latest in a series of actions that have led to increasing calls for President Dina Boluarte to resign. The country has been in turmoil for the past 6 weeks, with protests erupting all over the country, resulting in 60 deaths, over 580 injuries, and over 500 arrests. And as if the situation wasn't dire enough, Peru's Ministry of Tourism announced that Machu Picchu, the country's most popular tourist attraction, would be closed until further notice. Over 400 tourists were evacuated from the site on Saturday. The protests began in early December in support of ousted former President Pedro Castillo, but have since shifted to focus on calls for Boluarte's resignation, the closure of Congress, and fresh elections. Boluarte, who was Castillo's vice president, took office after Castillo attempted to shut down Congress and rule by decree on December 7. The United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights has called on the Peruvian authorities to ensure the legality and proportionality of the police intervention and guarantees of due process. The UN also emphasized the importance of the presence of prosecutors, who were absent during the initial raid. It's clear that the situation in Peru is rapidly deteriorating, and it's important that the international community takes notice and takes action. The violent raid on the San Marcos University and the closure of Machu Picchu, one of Peru's most iconic tourist attractions, are just the latest examples of the turmoil currently gripping the country. As reports continue to surface of police brutality and human rights violations, it's crucial that we ask ourselves what can be done to help the people of Peru. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights has called on the Peruvian authorities to ensure the legality and proportionality of their actions, and this is a sentiment that must be echoed by the international community. But it's not just about condemning the actions of the Peruvian government, it's about taking concrete steps to support the people of Peru as they fight for their rights and their democracy. This means providing aid and support to those affected by the violence, and pushing for meaningful political change in the country. The current president, Dina Boluarte, who took office after the ousting of her predecessor, must be held accountable for the actions of her government. The growing calls for her resignation are a clear indication of the lack of faith the people of Peru have in her ability to lead the country through this crisis. The UK, as a member of the international community, has a responsibility to speak out against the violence and repression taking place in Peru. We must call on our own government to take a strong stance in support of the people of Peru, and to push for meaningful political change in the country. As we discuss the situation in Peru, it's important to remember that this is not just a distant, abstract issue. The events taking place in Peru have real-world consequences for the people living there. It's our responsibility to pay attention, to speak out, and to take action to support them in their struggle for justice and democracy. This has been the London Perspective, and I hope you'll join us again for our next episode. Remember, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor.fm. Thank you.